I'm going to start with a 14-inch grapevine, and the first thing we're going to work in is some greenery. We're going to start with this brown foliage, and I love this because it has actual acorns on it, and it creates a really cool look for fall. To break them down, I'm going to separate each section. There's 3 sections per spray, and we're going to take our cutters. All of the supplies we're using today can be found at nixseasonaldecor.com, so that we have individual pieces like that. After adding a little bit of hot glue to the end, we're going to simply work those right into the grapevine. And by adding hot glue, it makes it more secure. We're going to be designing all the way around. So when I design all the way around a grapevine, I like to make sure all of the products I work in are going in the same direction. I broke down 3 of these sprays, and that is the last one around the outside. I do have one more, and what we can do with this is just fill in wherever we need a little extra piece. Now we're going to work in some of this taupe colored asparagus fern, and I really love this color for fall. I think it's really pretty, and it kind of lightens up the home. So we're going to snip down 1 bush to start. I just dipped it in my hot glue, and we're going to poke it right into the grapevine. I also really like this foliage because it's adding something lightweight and airy to this design. And with fall, sometimes designs can get a little heavy looking. So working in something dainty like this fern, which has a lot of texture, kind of lightens the entire design. I also have a few of these fall colored berries left over from another project. If you have leftovers, this design is the perfect design to use them up because it doesn't require a whole lot. So that just added a little bit more color. Now I have some miniature styrofoam pumpkins, and I have a scrap floral stem, and I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to the back of it. So these are extremely lightweight, and they'll hold wherever we place them. So I'm just going to go throughout and work in a bunch of pumpkins and gourds. So again, a dollop of hot glue. We also have some gourds. Add some hot glue to those. So this design would last all fall, through Halloween, and through Thanksgiving. And one of my favorite things about this is that it's really natural looking. You could do the same thing with fresh greenery or dried greenery, and some real gourds and some real pumpkins. You can get them from the grocery store for a couple of dollars. I also have some of these cute little pumpkins, and we're just using all shapes, colors, and sizes. And I think the more variety you have, the better this design will look. Now we have this lantern I picked up from Walmart and some of my favorite artificial candles by Luminara. And I'm just going to take 2 candles and place it inside. These are battery and remote operated. Now we're going to place that lantern right in the middle, and a 14-inch grapevine is the perfect size for one of these larger lanterns, which only cost about $10 to $15. And here is how it looks, you guys. I absolutely love it, and I think it turned out so pretty. Very budget friendly, only cost us a handful of dollars, and we used some leftover pumpkins and berries from last year. So with just the flick of a switch, we have these really pretty candles illuminating, and we don't have to worry about the fire. And I really love these candles too because they flicker. We're going to make a beautiful fall wreath today, and we're going to use an 18-inch grapevine. So we're going to also work in some of these pre-mixed sprays, and these are one of my all-time favorites because they have so much texture and diversity amongst one spray. So we're actually going to keep these in their entirety, but the first thing we're going to need to do is cut off the stems. And as you can tell, there's a lot of wires there, so you do have to exert a little bit of force, but once you get that done, we can come back in with some zip ties to secure it. So these pre-made sprays are so easy because all it takes is a few of them to create a beautiful floral wreath. Snip off your zip tie. So we placed one down below. Since this is a rather large and a little bit heavy, we're going to come back in with another one. So I'm just feeding it through the grapevine, making sure we have some substance behind it. And then snip it off. And you can fluff at the same time, or you can do what we're going to do, which is to fluff it once we secure all of them. So we've worked in one so far, and an 18-inch grapevine, once you work in all of your products, it can really create for a large wreath. So this in total is going to be about 26 inches across, and we're just coming back in with our next piece. And instant gratification here, you guys. By working in these sprays, it just takes it to the next level without having to work in every single product individually. So that one actually stuck really nicely with just one zip tie. And look at how full it's looking. So one thing I've noticed with designing for fall is a lot of designers and hobbyists get a little too comfortable with using too many colors. So the blessing about fall is that there's so many different colors to choose from, but it also at the same time can be a curse. So by working with these pre-made sprays, you already have a bunch of different shades, but it's not overdone. So this spray, we're just going to bend a little bit, lift up, and work behind. And tighten that zip tie really tight and snip it off. Also, by doing the zip ties the way I've shown you today, it prevents the end being on the back side of the wreath, which can cause some damage. They can be really sharp depending on how you cut them. So at least this way we pose no risk of scratching our door, ourselves, or our friends and family. So now that we have all of our product in place, we can begin fluffing. And as I mentioned earlier, each one of these pieces is wired. So you can pull out the bittersweet, adjust the acorns, shift around the pine cones, get it to your liking. And I love how full this looks. So very simple to do. Now let's hang it up and show you the finished reveal. And here is the finished wreath, you guys. I absolutely love the way it turned out, and it was so incredibly easy to put together. We used 5 of those pre-made sprays, along with some zip ties and that 18-inch grapevine, and that is it. And look at all of the colors and textures that came from those sprays.
If you have any wicker baskets laying around, this is going to be a really easy project to decorate your door for Halloween. I took this spray foam. You can get it in any kind of foams that you like, and I filled this up. You have to give it about 36 hours to dry, and then it's ready to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and give this basket 2 coats of orange spray paint. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and cut out the jack-o'-lantern face on some foam board. Now that we have our jack-o'-lantern face, we're gonna go ahead and attach it to the basket. Once you have your basket sprayed and your jack-o'-lantern face on, now it's time to add all the lovely florals. So what you want to do the very first time is you're going to find your main focal flower and you're going to add those in first. And usually what you want to do is do them in odd numbers. You don't have to worry about gluing right now. You can come back at the end and take your glue gun and just start squirting some glue underneath all of the stems. And we're going to start filling in between the 3 sunflowers. This is a very, very simple project to do. Now I also have these lovely velvet pumpkins. I'm gonna place those in and then I'm gonna come back and fill in all the spaces that are still a little bit bare. We're gonna go ahead and take some more of these florals and just fill in all the little areas just to give us some more texture and depth. When you get these kind of florals, you wanna bring them to life. Don't let them just look like they're nice and flat. Just start bending and moving them and putting them in a really nice position so that it looks like it's more natural. Now we want to finish off the design using some beautiful fun ribbons for our Halloween fall season. All right, so I have this really fun jack-o'-lantern ribbon. It's a 1.5 inch. You're going to go ahead and do a dovetail. To do that, what you want to do, fold your ribbon in half, start on that folded edge, just cut it an angle uphill. I'm going to measure to make sure both loops are the exact same size. You're going to pinch it in, give it a twist, and then just cut it off, okay? We're gonna come back in with our next ribbon, doing the same thing, making the loops about the same exact size. And then the last one is gonna be this orange, which is tying it into everything that we are doing right here. And we're just gonna place that in over the top. Again, keep measuring your loops so they're the exact same size, and then cut your tail. I'm actually going to use this part of my zip tie and I'm gonna stick that down in to the design. I absolutely love the way this has turned out. Just starting with a simple basket, adding some foam, a little bit of florals, put a cute little pumpkin face on, and then you've got this gorgeous little door hanger that can carry you through the fall or even into Halloween.